What is up, Team Happy and Fit? Happy Tuesday. It's Tuesday, in case you didn't know, in case that you weren't sure what day it was. I hope that you all had the most amazing weekend. I just love being surrounded by a community of people that aren't afraid to set goals, and they're willing to feel the feels, and they just show up in life, and they just don't want to make themselves smaller. And I love on the National Wake Up Call on Monday, she just said on the call, she's just like, I don't want my family to get the least of me. So I need to start showing up for my self-care. How many of you have been people pleasers, right? And you're always saying yes, and it's hard to say no. And then now it's like, I'm saying yes to myself in my journey, and you're feeling more confident. And I honestly think too, this is a great way, this quarantine is, I think it opened up my eyes to maybe things I want to say no to, or things I want to say yes to. Like what is truly important, right? Because it just gave you the time to really reflect that. And if you're a part of this crew, which you are because you're on this call, I just want to say you are so meant to be here. Every single one of you is meant to be here. Everyone has a place here, and it is so fun because we're all so different, and it just works. And no one owns this space. No one sets a pace that you have to go at. You get to decide, but I hope that this team just reminds you that you're on your way somewhere while living more fulfilled today, making choices to be more grateful. I guarantee if I said, what is something you're grateful for, with you could just list it off, right? Living in that state of gratitude. And then also, I just am so incredibly thankful for what we're choosing to do during this time. We're coming out of quarantine stronger than we went in, right? With a vision and yeah, where we're going. I didn't ask Morgan Brill this, but Morgan, are you available to talk and introduce Anya?
Yes, of course. I'm so excited. Okay, so Anya is just one of my favorite people. I have loved getting to know her even more. So a fun story about Anya before I get into like accolades and the bragging about the business stuff is that Anya and I were Facebook friends, and we knew of each other, and we were part of Happy and Fit, right? But her very first day of work at a new job, I was actually her nurse educator. So our professional lives and our Beachbody lives collided, and we saw each other, and we just walked up to each other and gave each other a really big hug. And the supervisor of my unit was like, what? And does she always hug new hires or what? And I was like, oh no, we go way back. Like we're not just like talked on the phone and then I decided to hug her and she's a hugger. It's like we have a relationship because of this team beyond profession, and that's very cool. So a couple of my roles collided, which was super fun for both of us. And then, you know, she went through some life things. She left this position, went to a different position, pregnancy, Hudson, all of that. And we reconnected, and I'm just so, so, so proud of her. It's one of those people that you come into your business and you just know you're meant to work together. It's easy, and our relationship is easy, and it just makes mentoring simple when you bring friends into your team. And it's so great. So Anya was a slow grower at first, and she's going to share that part of her story. But when she decided that this business was for her, she went all in, and I can't wait for her to share some tips. Currently, she is diamond rank. She's rocking Success Club. In fact, she's doing the Family Success Club thing, where actually in her business, her husband is her primary business center, which is unique but really awesome, and helping her family build so much income. And then she's their secondary business center. So she is working on both and balancing weak legs and really digging into compensation and volume and coach placement, and she's just pouring that into her team, which I cannot wait for her to pour into you tonight. So Anya, go ahead and take it away. I'm so proud of you. You are going to do great. And this is really out of her comfort zone, and she just like went all in. So I am so, so excited for her to share what she's got tonight.
Oh my goodness, guys. Morgan, thank you so much. Seriously, guys, it was so funny because we literally just looked at each other and we gave each other the biggest hug, and it was just like, it was all meant to be. But it is so true that, I mean, the friendships in this are just so unbeatable, and that's really what it's all about. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen here. sorry. Here we go. Can you guys see everything okay? And hear me okay? Okay, cool, perfect. Okay, so my name is Anya, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about pushing past the hard. So a little bit about me. So my name is Anya. I am a wife to Jesse. We got married in August of 2018, so it's already almost 2 years, a little bit far off, but it's just crazy how time flies. I am a mom to Hudson. He just turned 6 months old this past Thursday, and he is just the light of our lives, our whole entire world. We love him to pieces. I am a fur and a fluff mom. So I have 2 dogs, 2 cats, 10 chickens, 6 ducks, multiple fish, and right now I feel like we're pretty content with all those animals, but you never know what the coolest are going to add to their clan. And then I am an outdoor lover. So I love being outside. I love fishing, camping, hiking, just enjoying the sun and the fresh air and making memories with my family. And just so you guys know, I'm not looking at the comments at all at right now, so I will check them throughout, but just so you guys are aware. A little bit about my coaching journey. So I joined 2.5 years ago, a little bit past that, a little bit longer than that, I think. And originally I signed up to lose weight for my wedding, and I ordered my dress in a size too small because I figured that that would be the motivation that I would need to really get my butt in gear. So my first challenge pack was 80-day obsession, and I signed up as a discount coach right away because I wanted the discounts on the products. I was super excited about Energize, which has literally become my lifeline. Let me tell you, Hudson does not sleep. So it has just been so amazing. And then I dabbled with coaching here or there, but I really wasn't consistent with it. I would stick with it for a little bit, and then I would kind of dwindle off, and then I would make an appearance, and then I would dwindle off. So I was consistent with my fitness journey, but I wasn't necessarily always consistent in sharing it and staying connected with the team. When I was pregnant, so kind of a little backstory. So I have scoliosis. I have 2 rods in my back. And so my back is always going to be not a problem area, but an area that I always have to consistently work and keep strong, just because I have 2 rods in my back, so my core doesn't necessarily have to work. And when you're pregnant, obviously your body changes so much. So I was working as a nursing assistant at the time, and the more pregnant I got, the more my body just couldn't handle it. The 12-hour shifts, the constantly on my feet, the lifting of patients, it was just too hard. And I actually ended up hurting my back when I was working. So I had to take unpaid leave, and it was so hard. It was so hard. I mean, we didn't know where money was really going to come from. Jesse's the breadwinner, but we still need my income. And so it was so hard to physically not be able to do anything and make a change, and know that we're struggling for money with a baby on the way. I think it was probably one of the hardest things that Jesse and I had to go through in our marriage, and we were able to grow through that. But it was so hard to just know that I wasn't able to help my family at that time. And I took a step back and I said, what can I do in the state physically that I'm in that I'm able to help my family financially? And I said, you know what? This opportunity is at my fingertips. Let's give it a go. So I was going to the Cairo literally like almost every other day for a month, I want to say, trying to get my body back to just being able to walk. And I was doing the things that I could. I was sharing my journey. I was sharing my struggles. And when I was working the business, I hit Success Club for, I think it was either 2 or 3 months in a row. And I was successful with it, and I was consistent. But once I kind of got everything back in line, I was feeling better. I got a different position. I changed positions within the hospital. And so I went back to work, and I stepped away from coaching. Of course, the business wasn't really doing so much then. I was still sharing my journey, but wasn't as consistent. And it was so weird because I was seeing success, but at the same time, it wasn't necessarily convenient in that season of life. So I stepped away from it when I should have been leaning in more and more and more. So I still stayed connected with the community. I still stayed connected with team members. But then ultimately when I had Hudson, I'll never forget, this is the picture that I posted on January 1st of this year. And I posted in Coach Collab and in Team Happy&Fit. And I said, I am not going back to work. I am going all in this business. And there's no other answer for me. And so I'll also never forget, I was sitting in the hospital, I held Hudson in my arms, and I said, Jesse, I'm not going back to work. And he said, that's okay, you just have to figure out a way to still contribute financially. And again, I knew that I had done it before, so I was determined to do it again, and I went diamond a month later when I decided that I was all in. You have to really make your why greater than your excuses. You have to make your why greater than your reasons not to do something. You have to make your why the reason why you are consistent through the ebbs and the flows in life, and to show up even when you don't feel that it is convenient, even when you feel like it's not the right time, even when you don't feel like doing something. Remember your why, go back to that, and connect yourself so emotionally to your reason that it will drive you when the motivation isn't there, when you just don't feel like doing it. Let that why be your reason to keep pushing through. So cold inviting for me was really tough at first, because I mean, you're possibly messaging someone that you've never really talked to. They're watching your stories on Instagram. And I was okay with being told no. I was okay with being ghosted. And if someone's watching my stories, I saw that as an open door to send them an invite. And did it make me uncomfortable? Oh, yeah. Did it make me scared to see what responses I was going to get? Yes. Were they always the friendliest of responses? No. But I was able to connect my why to the reason of sending that cold invite, which ultimately pushed me to keep on doing it and growing from it. And I'm to the point now where it's either I'm going to share my journey and you're going to join me, or you're going to delete me because you're going to be sick of me inviting you to this awesome opportunity. The next thing too is you have to add to your network. I know that it can be so uncomfortable inviting people, especially say they're like friends from high school that you haven't talked to in years, or people that you're mutual friends with that you've met once or twice, but you don't really necessarily have a relationship with or have talked to. I get it. It's totally uncomfortable, but adding to your network is so important, and you never know who needs this. They may not need it necessarily for like the health and wellness aspect of it, but who doesn't want a community of positive women to surround themselves with? I don't know about you guys, but I love to have my girlfriends, and having the support and the friendships from this is ultimately, it's everything. And I don't know who can say that they don't need that. And one thing too, I've been telling my team a lot is get comfortable being uncomfortable, because you're going to grow when you're in an uncomfortable space. Like Morgan said, talking and speaking and presenting is totally out of my comfort zone. But Julian had posted, hey, I need someone to speak on these dates. And I was like, yep, I'll do it. Let's do it. Let's push past this comfort zone and let's just get it done. So I challenge you to do something that's out of your comfort zone, even if that is sending a cold invite, even if that's inviting your best friend that you're scared is going to say no, or even if that's adding someone. It doesn't matter if it's little or small. Growing this is growing in inches, and any little thing that makes you uncomfortable is going to help you grow. And then too, so I So I had talked with Julianne a couple weeks ago, and I was like, you know what? I think my fire's too big. I think I'm impatient. And she's just like, no, your fire's not too big. You just have to channel it. And I'm like, okay, I can handle that. So before, I was taking massive action, but I was taking massive action with a scarcity mindset. And I was sending mass messages. I was adding too many people at one time. And ultimately, it led to my Facebook being deleted. And I had to learn through that it's not 1000 timing everything. It's being intentional with the actions that you are doing. When I was doing just massive action, just mass producing pretty much, there was no balance. I was always on my phone. I never felt accomplished because I always felt like I could be doing more, creating more graphics, talking to more people, adding more people to my network. And honestly, it was really hard on Jesse and I because he felt like I was always on my phone. And that was one thing that I did not want on this, was I wanted to be able to have the opportunity to be 1000% present with my family when I chose to be and when I need to be. And of course, Jesse's always supportive of that, but I had to find that balance and be comfortable with setting my phone aside and realizing I don't need to be on my phone at every single second. So when I was more intentional with my time and I had found resources that had really helped me and created a plan, I have found a balance that has worked really well for myself and my family. So I follow a recorded power hour. I'll literally just go into YouTube and type in Beachbody power hours, and it'll be different coaches that'll walk you through what they're doing, how long they're spending on this, how long they're spending on that, whatever it might be. You might find one that you really like and really jive with. You might find one that you feel like you didn't really fit your style, and that's okay, because you're still going through it. You're still moving the needle in your business, and eventually you're going to take bits and pieces from the ones that you do like and you do enjoy, and you're going to find a rhythm that works for you. Some days I'm able to set aside an hour and a half and work through a whole power hour while Hudson's napping. Other times it's when I'm driving up north with my husband, and well, he's driving, I'm not, and I'm messaging people or doing whatever I need to and working in those pockets. For example, when we went up north this weekend, I was working as he was driving, and because I was able to do that, I was able to be 1000% present with my family when we were all together, which was just a really full circle moment for me. It is so important to follow a tracker and to have a plan, because you don't want to have time set aside and work your business and spend, say, 30 minutes trying to create a post when you could be spending 10 minutes creating a post, 10 minutes inviting, 10 minutes connecting. You want to create tools or use tools that are going to work for you, and that may change over time. I used to be a pen and paper girl. Now I switched to Google Docs. Maybe I'll go back to pen and paper. Who knows? Right now, it's what's working for me in my season, and I'm just going to roll with it. You want to you have to know that your time is valuable as well. You don't want to miss out time with your family, because that's what this is all about, having the opportunity to create more choices, more freedom. And for me, the importance is just being with my family and not missing out on time with Hudson or when we're all together, because that's very rare that it happens that we're all together. So I found that I really like lists to make sure that I stay on track, and not every day looks the same. You have to be okay with not every day being perfect, and you have to focus on the progress over the perfection, and really focus in on the things that you do accomplish that are going to move that needle in your business. The process of my inviting and connecting. So you want to find your tribe. Ultimately, you want to do this with your friends. That's the best part. I talk to my ladies every single day. We're talking business, we're talking life, we're talking babies, we're talking shopping, we're talking books, we're talking recipes, whatever it might be, whatever that might look like for you. But you want to find your tribe, because these are going to be some of your best friends. For me, I found that I am able to connect with people off of the seasons that I'm in right now. I am exclusively breastfeeding. I have a baby that just does not like to sleep, and coffee and Energize are my life right now. But believe it or not, a lot of moms are going through the same thing where their baby just doesn't sleep. And who knew that you could bond over babies not sleeping? Just saying. Or bonding over coffee or cooking, whatever you love, find people that love those same things too. For example, when I am, and I'll kind of go through how I do connect and find people and invite and everything, but I do go to a favorite brand of ours. I'll like people and follow people off of that, start talking with them, because ultimately you want something in common with them as well. Because as much as we say it, this really truly is about genuine friendship, genuine friendships. When I invite you, I don't really have a formula. I invite when it feels right. For example, I'm going to show you guys a conversation in a little bit that transitioned so smoothly into inviting her, and she actually just joined me tonight, which is just so amazing. But you just have to do it when it feels right. Sometimes it's right away. Sometimes it's a little bit later in the conversation. You just have to kind of go with your gut. I do pay attention though if people are watching my stories, if they've liked a post, if they've commented on something, kind of like I said before, if they're doing those things, that's kind of their opening to you saying, hey, I am watching your stuff, I am interested, and you can invite them off of that. Maybe they'll say yes, they want more information. Maybe they say no, not right now, but you should be inviting them. There's so much value in the follow-up too. Oh my goodness, guys, I could not say this enough. I want to say probably over half of my team are people who have ghosted me, who took maybe a year to join me, who weren't ready like right away. I was totally the one that was ready right away to sign up as a coach. Yes, I was a discount coach right away and I didn't work the business, but I signed up as a coach right away because I wanted that discount. But not everyone is. Not everyone is ready, and that is so totally okay. You want to meet people where they're at. If they say no, not now, use that as an objection use that objection as a conversation starter and to get to know them better. So if they say, no, I'm so busy with work, I usually come back and say, oh my gosh, well, what do you do for work? And build a conversation off of that. Or, no, I'm a new mom. It's just, I'm trying to transition. Oh my goodness, I am too. How old is your little babe? And build a conversation off of that and build that friendship. If they say no, still talk to them, guys. It is so, I feel like all of us can probably relate where we've gotten a message asking us to join something, we say no, and you never hear from that person again. We know how that feels, and I know that I never ever want to give someone that feeling if they are willing to have a conversation and friendship with me still. If they stop responding to me, that's on them. But if I message them and they're responding to me, I'm still going to talk to them. I still want to be their friend because, again, this is all about genuine friendships. This is a conversation that I want to share with you guys. So it goes back way further, but I really wanted to capture the follow-up in this. And so I had messaged her a little bit after COVID had started, and then I had messaged her again with the how are you doing with everything going on? She said, I'm doing all right. I've been kind of lazy with my time and working on perseverance. How are you? Talking back and forth. So then she had asked if I picked up any hobbies, and she mentioned books. I said, oh, we just did a book club. It was for Girl Code. I loved it. So I told her that we were reading it, and she was reading a PD book. And so we had connected on that. And I asked her if she's heard of Girl Code, and she said no. I said, oh my gosh, it's so good. And then if you guys see right over here, I said, I know we talked a little bit before, but I was hoping it'd be better timing. You would seriously love the community I'm a part of, especially with loving personal development. Hello. Right now, there's a huge sale going on. Let's link arms and do this together. She said, oh, okay. And I wasn't really sure if she was like, oh, okay, I'm in, or, oh, okay, like, we can do this together. And she just signed up with me tonight. And because of that little, I don't want to say little connection because it's not a little connection. Because of that connection, we were able to continue our friendship, continue building, and we're friends on Facebook. She joined me. We both love scarves. We both love wine. Like, we have been able to build a friendship off of this. And then a little bit about tracking. So I shared this on our team retreat a couple weeks ago, so I don't want to spend too much time with it, but this is just a screenshot from my Google Docs, and Google Doc just works for me just because I can take it with me everywhere. But I'll put the people that I'm talking to, their email address if I get it, their Instagram handle, where we met, either Facebook, Instagram, in person, whatever it might be, notes, and then follow-up date, follow-up action. And so to kind of loop back to the lovely lady that just signed up with me tonight, she was in this tracker for a year. I've been talking to her for a year. If I wouldn't have tracked our conversation just to follow up with her and touch base with her on life and how she's doing, she would have fallen through the cracks. And one, I wouldn't have her wonderful friendship. Two, she wouldn't have joined me. And three, where like she has told me that she's needed this and that she's had signs and stuff like that she needs to make a change. Where would she be if we wouldn't have been able to connect? Which is ultimately, I mean, I get like the chilly willies from it, because it's just so amazing that we're able to share this opportunity with so many women and help them in whichever area of life they need. Maybe that's, again, health and wellness. Maybe that's just friendship. Maybe it's personal development. I mean, we have so much that we can offer and help with, that it's not just workouts and shakes. There is so much more to this. But to kind of loop it all together, this is built in inches, my friends. If you guys know me, I am not patient in the slightest bit. Jesse grounds me, I level, like I bring him to the next level. Like we are the perfect equal that way, just because there's not an ounce of patience in me. But I have learned that building this is in inches is the way to go. And it's the actions that you take consistently every day that is going to grow this, that is going to form those relationships. You have to have belief, a whole lot of belief. Guys, success leaves clues. There's so many resources to be successful. You just have to be willing to soak it in and to listen to your mentors and ask the questions. No question is a silly question. Everyone's been there. I don't remember if I read it or if I heard it on a call, but you have to think the 15-star diamonds at one point were emeralds. Let that soak in. Everyone starts somewhere, and you have to build this in inches, and you have to be consistent, and you have to believe and lean into this team and the community. When it's hard, lean into the community. I know for myself, when things get hard, I like to pull away, but I've learned over time, the friendships that I've made in this community through some of my hardest times with some of these women are irreplaceable and unbeatable, and you just have to lean in even when you feel like you want to pull away.
So good. I was just thinking about that too, like in marriage or in relationships, when you pull away, that doesn't help the relationship. Like you pulling away from something that you love, like it's not a healthy thing, and it won't help you work through that. And I think just the biggest thing is to identify that and just be like, so for me, as an Enneagram 8, if I'm descending unhealthy, I like to put up walls. Like I just like to distance myself and all those things. So in our marriage, I'll just be like, I am tempted to do this right now. And so I'm acknowledging that. So anytime you're feeling stuck, frustrated, questioning yourself, first of all, if you're already doubting, your mindset is just going to confirm all the things that aren't healthy, right? So, oh, I should just pull back. Like you need to not listen to the mindset that's already trying to tell you that you're not enough. And so that is by leaning into the community, that when, you know, Anya's coming to me and saying, this is too big, and it's just like, no, like this, just focus on this. And then also I don't know how many times I've said, Anya, it's just patience, time plus consistency, right? Where it's like, we want all this stuff to happen now, but it's like, where's the good in that? Because everything worthwhile is produced with time, right? Like Faye, watching her grow and be 10 months old, it just keeps getting better with time. There's been hard times in these last 10 months. There's been exciting times, unknown times. I've felt guilty. I have felt shamed. I have felt anxious. I have felt a whole lot of emotions, but I've also felt super thrilled, super excited. I love getting to know her. Time just gets better with her. Time gets better with this journey when you don't throw in the towel. That is super good. Anya, first of all, like, incredible job. And I think what really I hope you guys wrote this down. I did. And I started, and it was this: signed up to fit into your wedding dress because you ordered it smaller. To someone who's looking at her husband in the hospital bed holding her newborn saying, I'm not going back. How did that happen? How did it go from I just ordered my wedding dress a size smaller to all of a sudden seeing this like ridiculous potential? Anya, can you share that with us? Because how did you, like, you signed up to lose weight, and this tells me that you saw something other than just fitness and nutrition in this journey. It is fitness and nutrition, but like, that is a huge change. Can you talk to us about that, of like the opportunity of the business? And then I'm going to ask some follow-up questions about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So fun fact, I've actually done other MLMs before, if you want to say, but none of them, and I can tell you, I've done 2 others. I don't want to say the names or anything like that, but I can tell you that none of them have offered this community like this opportunity has. And when I signed up, I had a coach, the whole shebang. We were in a challenge group. Awesome. Okay. But then I dug deeper, because in this community, I saw that everyone was doing personal development. What's personal development? Never heard of it before. I'm not a reader, never listened to podcasts. Like, I like my country music, driving around with the windows down. Like, that's my jam, right? And so I started to dive into personal development a little bit more, and I was like, okay, like, this is changing my mind and thought process way more than I thought was possible. And so then, like I said, I kind of dabbled in it a little bit. And when I was, quote unquote, all in, even though I wasn't all in at the time, I saw success in this. And I was like, okay, it's doable. Like, there's no secret. You share your journey, you help people, you connect with people, you make friends. Awesome. Okay. There's no secret to it. But then I pulled away. And then I knew that this opportunity was so much different than anything else that I had done before. And just from watching the mentors on our team do it and crush it and be successful, I knew that I could do it. And I think that that's just something that's so beautiful about our mentors and the leader on our team, is they show us what's possible. And there is a seat for everyone at this table. Success is, as Julia Noah says, success is not above you.
So good. That's so good. I love, like, can we lean in and all answer this to ourselves? I'm going to ask you this, Anya, and I want everyone else to reflect on this in your own words. And I want you all to think about how you can really reflect on this, right? You changed your mind and you changed your thought process. If you didn't, what would life look like for you right now?
So I could totally get emotional about it, because I can guarantee that Jesse and I would not have as strong as a marriage as we do, because looking back on it, I was so insecure and jealous. Like, sometimes I think back and I'm like, why did he choose to like stick this out? Like, I wasn't very nice. And it breaks my heart to think that and to look back on that, because 1, no one deserves that. 2, it's not his fault. It was my own battles that I was dealing with from previous relationships or just previous things that have happened, and he was getting the brunt of it. And I think that the personal development really helped me shift my mind, and that sometimes you just have to let go of your past, and your past does not define you. your past is a part of your journey and their learning experiences, and you have to grow from it. And once you're at peace with some of those things, you're able to just move forward and kind of start fresh almost. And so I know that that would have been a huge thing. I can guarantee you I would still be working full time. I wouldn't be home with my son, and that was a huge thing. This past week, I was actually able to match what I would have been making working full time, considering childcare, which has been such a blessing for us. And again, that would not have been possible if I didn't make the shift or believe in this. And yeah, it's crazy to think about what life could be without this. And again, I've been doing this for 2.5 years. There was a reason that I came back every time I came back. Even if I disappeared a little bit, there was a reason why I came back.
Yeah, that's so powerful to think about. And like, I think this whole journey where it's like we never leave this to do full time, like you all get to decide what your life looks like and what your reality looks like, and you have the choice. And if no one's ever told you that before, I think that's when I look back and I'm like, this journey taught me I had choices that I think before I would think that like you went to school to be a nurse, and like if that was your only choice, if you thought that that would be the only option you would feel. And I think more than anything, regardless if you're ever wanting to leave your job or not, or one day maybe leave your job, or one day go debt free faster than you thought was possible, I just hope that this journey is teaching you that you have choices, that it doesn't have to be the way that you thought it had to be and for the amount of time that you thought you had it to be. And so I just think about that in my life of like, I emotionally, I don't know. I just like, I don't know. I just don't, I'm not always tearing myself apart, or I'm not always thinking about how I look, or I used to be jealous too of like where are Eric's eyes, he has to be looking. I would search for the most, what I thought was most beautiful girl in the room because I felt so insecure about that. Like that is such a different version of me. Like that person is so foreign to me over 6 years ago, right? And then just even thinking about like, I want all of you to think about this. Like, what would you be working out like you're working out now? Would you be surrounding yourself with people who are having this type of conversation? Would you be able to link arms? Like, Anya, you just joined because you wanted to fit into your wedding dress. And just think about all that's happened in your life because of that decision of you work on your mindset, you have a stronger marriage. Even if you feel like you don't have patience, I feel like you do. And maybe that's something that's growing in your life. Maybe you would like have zero patience, or maybe you would be tied to a job that you didn't love for a long time because there wasn't another option. I just think it's super important for all of us to reflect on this kind of question of what would life be like if I didn't say yes to my self-care, and if I didn't surround myself around people who made me think about that. And then Anya, I want to talk to you about first and foremost, thanks for sharing like you're a stick shift coach. And if you're a stick shift coach, stick shift cars still work, but they're a lot harder in SF. And this business is mountains. Right? Like, so if you're a stick shift coach and you're in San Francisco, it's going to be hard. Like, it's just going to be a lot harder than you need to make it, right? Like, you just don't need to make it that hard. And something that's really cool about this business is that the compound effect, if you read that book, you've got to understand that it's not about the amount of hours you put in. It's about what you're doing in that focused time you have. I do this full time, but I'm with my family more. I do this full time, but I'm not doing this full time. Does that make sense? I am not spending hours upon hours and upon hours doing this. Why? Because I want to do other things. But I love this. I'm willing to spend time because I legitimately love it every day. I'm willing to be a Prius. do we like Priuses on this call? I'm not even really sure. I'm not a car person. And so I'm just, that would be a great car in SF, right? I'm just willing to inch it forward every day. And I swear to you, over the last 6 years, that is why this business, I just had never stopped. I just had never taken my foot off the brake. I never was a stiff. Why did I choose that kind of wording? Because it's just really messing me up right now. Shift, coach. Yes. I just chose to keep going. So if you have been that, how about you just take that title away and just show up a little bit each day? That will be better. So you saw you saw an opportunity at your fingertips, and I really heard you say, like, did you guys hear her? She shared with you her niche, No Sleep Team. Maybe she's on Instagram profiles about how to learn a child sleep, like how to get ideas and advice on that. She's going to connect with other mamas who are on those types of profiles, right? So she identified her niche, who she is. By the way, you build this business based off of you and your brand and yourself, and not branding Beachbody. That's what I love about this. This is what makes it so different. That's how you get to be different in this. It's your voice, your story, your season. And so I heard 3 things that have built your business. It was connect, invite, and follow up. And you really highlighted follow up. And I think about that, and it's like, that's how you get remembered. That's when the person is ready. And I also heard too, you didn't get emotionally attached to the activity. You got emotionally attached to your vision and dream. And that's the difference. For the people who are on this call that are afraid to do the things, that's because you're more focused on the action and the emotional connection to someone's no, ghosting, or yes. That's not what Anya's connected to. She's connected to a better version of herself, and she's connected to a dream, and she's connected to the kind of lifestyle that she wants. That, yes, she's gotten weird responses before, but not at the cost of what her future wanted to be with her family. Did you see the difference in there? Some of you are going to get weird messages, but like, can you just trust that that's okay, that people are allowed to feel that way? They're allowed to respond that way, even if that's not how you would do it. That what has built Anya's business is figuring out her brand, her season, herself, connecting, inviting, and following up. She never said posting on social media is what built my business. She shares and posts on social media so people see she's in a business. She shares and shows her journey on social media. But Anya, if you throw up a social media post, a story, how many people are messaging you a day going, can I join your team? Is it because you are reaching out and starting conversations with people? And then if you are asking yourself, why can't I, like, and it's because, are you just expecting, you guys, I've been in this for 6 years, and it is not because of a post that someone will, like, maybe they'll send me a message and be like, that really struck me. Were you talking to me? I'm ready to go. It is rare. It is me connecting, me reaching out, me taking the steps to expand my network, me doing the stuff, right? But my emotional connection is to my vision and why. Just like Anya's. Where I get the most emotional, where I get the most excited is the future version of myself and the present self of me, and not someone's ability to, they have no say in that, regardless of their response of a yes and no, get the hell away from me, which doesn't really happen, right? It's this fear, and we're putting all this energy into these activities, and so then we don't do them, and then the business doesn't go anywhere, and then we start to it messes with us in our minds that we can't do this, where it's like, it's reversed. You've got to think about that vision. Who do you need to become? Who do you want to become? What kind of choices do you want to say yes to? What does your yes life look like? What is more choices to you and your family? Is it buying Rise tickets or Tony Robbins tickets without going on credit, and you can get any kind of seat you want in the house? Is it getting, I can't believe I'm saying this, country tickets, concert tickets? I can't even say country artist because I don't know. And
Luke Combs.
Yep. And then I can't even name a song. And you gift that to a family member, and it's not in the nosebleeds. And if it was, it's fine. But like, that is more choices to you. of an experience with someone you love is gifting them something. Like, what is more choices to you? But then also along the way is you get in the best shape of your life, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is. You are connected to people who fill your cup, who believe in you when you don't believe in you, who encourage you to dream bigger. They show you how to dream bigger. That is what is happening along the way. What a win freaking win. What a freaking win that you don't have to wait to be the best version of yourself, is that you get to develop into that as you go. Anya said it's not convenient. Success is not convenient, but I'm going to add this, but it leads to a life of convenience. It's not convenient. I just ate dinner during this call. I met with Katie on a one-on-one. She can tell you this is true. I was sitting in my bathtub. Why? Every room of our house was taken by someone. And I'm like, and Faye was sleeping in our room because someone was using her room. And so I was like, where's the most quiet space I can go? I closed all the bathroom doors, which I'm in the bathroom right now. You guys, we've built an incredible business over the last 6 years, and your girl is fancy. There we go. She's fancy, y'all. I'm in the bathroom, right? Building dreams, because it doesn't matter where you're building them. That's kind of what I love about this. I was in the bathroom, in the bathtub, chatting, because I thought Katie sitting on the toilet would just have been weird. So I was like, the bathtub. Like, I'm just going to go sit in the bathtub. It has better back support, right? Where that's amazing. I ate dinner here. What are you doing that's inconvenient? Anya is listening to these power hours on YouTube because she needs guidance to stay focused and get the crap done. And then as she's getting the crap done, she's enjoying the conversations and relationships she's getting to build with women who are incredible. What a win-win. In the bathroom, building dreams. Exactly. I always say I never had any of the fancy stuff, because I would always set my phone on a timer on top of the toilet because it had a white background and take selfies after I'd work out when I first started this journey. That's the thing, is I don't need the fancy things. I just want the choices. It's not even just choices of freedom of money. It's the choices of people I want to surround myself with work. It is time freedom. It is flexibility. It is requiring me to get in the best shape of my life. My job is to work on myself. My teaching job was depleting me. And if you're a teacher, we might have different stories, and that's fine. But I couldn't see myself doing that for that long. Right? And so I wanted the choice. Someone said, why did you move to California? Because we wanted to. Someone thought I moved here because of Beachbody, because Beachbody's headquarters in Santa Monica. And I was like, no, we moved here because we just decided. That's baller. Like, do whatever you want to do. By the way, it was scary as heck. Any questions for Anya? Oh yeah. Kim, you're so awesome. What questions do you have for Anya? I have a question, is what were we doing that you saw success in this? So you said you saw it paved out for you. Obviously you were leaning in, but like, what kinds of things did you see?
You guys were just so, if something was working for you, you're like, hey, try this. These are my invites. This is how I'm doing this. This is how I'm doing that. There was no guessing with it. If I asked a question, someone was always willing to help walk me through it or help answer it. Like, I've never felt like I'm alone in this journey, which is just so incredible. I can message another coach, I can message my mentors, whatever it might be, to help walk me through whatever, even if it is just to talk it out. But I mean, our leaders are just so amazing at just showing like, hey, this is what's working for me. I mean, just look at the challenge groups that they're setting up for us to invite to every single month. We always have something to invite to, which is just incredible.
So what What were you seeing that you wanted for your own life specifically? Like, so you knew what we were doing on how to build a business, so like inviting and things like that, but why were you willing to even do that?
I saw just the freedom of time that you guys have, and I want that. I want that for my family. Jesse is an animal lover, hence the reason why we have the coolest farm going on over here. But I want to be able to take him and Hudson and any of our future kids to all the largest zoos in the United States. And I want us to be able to just literally be like, okay, let's go wherever that might be, and just have that freedom of time and the freedom to make those choices. I want to be able to say yes to Hudson whenever he asks to do something. Maybe that's playing a sport, maybe that's playing the violin. I don't know, but I want to be able to be at his side, cheering him on, being that mom that's screaming, go Hudson, go, whatever it might be, and not have to worry about missing that. And the freedom of time is just, it's really, you can't put anything on that. Just the 6 months that I've been able to have with him and not missing a second with him makes all of this completely worth it.
Yeah, I think that's just good. And I think so for those of you who are listening, that's not your vision, that's Anya's. But what is that detailed vision of, like, she's picturing herself at the game? I'm pretty sure Danielle Wood has a very similar zoo craving. Is that true? I think it's someone else on this team that wants to go and visit every like huge zoo. Anyway, but what is that for you? Like that detail, and that's exactly like that's who you show up for when you're feeling like full of doubt or whatever. What is your favorite personal development?
I would probably say Mastering Your Mean Girl. I've read that book 2 times. I'm honestly about to read it for a third. I don't know why, but it lights my butt on fire and it gets me going. So I always kind of go back to that one when I just need to have a fire relit, because just like watching a movie, every time you read a book, you interpreted something different, because you have to think too, when I read that book, I wasn't even married yet. So that was 2 years ago. The 2 year ago version of me and the version of me now are in such different places that I can guarantee the takeaways are going to be completely different than when I read it the first time.
So good. How long do you wait to follow up with someone if they
Um,
have not responded?
if they have not responded, I say probably like 2 days. And then if they're watching my stories and stuff, I'll try to start a conversation with them off of that and then say, oh, hey, by the way, did you see the info I sent you? If not, I'll follow up with them after 2 days. But if they don't respond, then I kind of just move on, because again, this is an abundance. There's no scarcity. If they're not going to answer you, why not go ahead, send out 10 more invites to people who may respond to you.
What would you say to someone that's sitting on this call that wants this so bad but is not feeling any momentum?
Have belief, lean into the team, reconnect to your why. Go back, pretend that it's the beginning of the year. If you need to recreate your dream board, recreate your dream board. If you need to go back to digging deeper into, again, that root why, spend some time, even if it's just 10 minutes, to sit wherever you need to sit and get down to that root why. Let it fire you up, lean into the team, put your goals out there, because I can guarantee you, everyone on this call, if you put it out there, someone's going to comment on it and cheer you on. Everyone here is here to cheer each other on. And when you feel that momentum and you put that goal out there, I know for myself, it fires me up. And having a tangible goal and a timeline, I'm like, yep, got to do it. So lean into the team, make friends, make connections. The monthly challenge that Julian had made for the teams with the little pods, if you're not a part of it, post something and say, hey, I am going for this goal. Why don't we, like, who's going for a similar goal or who's working on the same program? Make friends with them, connect, and share your goals with them. Push each other. There's so many opportunities to have momentum in this.
Yeah, and you don't have to be alone in it. So here's the deal. When I first started, I didn't always believe in what was possible because my mind was so used to scarcity and limitations. It's just something that we've meant, like, that's just I was brought up with, right? Unintentionally. So what I started doing is I started focusing on the abundance, and I started making myself believe it before I actually believed it. So I wrote it down every day. I thought about it every day. By the way, thinking about those things was way more fun to me than thinking about financial stress, feeling stuck, or feeling frustrated. I'm not enough. Like, that stuff just didn't light my soul on fire, and I can guarantee that's not lighting you on fire. But what was like, of just manifesting and thinking about what was possible. And I got more excited about that. And so I kept going that direction, even though I didn't know someone like me could do something like this. That's what I always say. I never knew someone like me with the education that I had, the test anxiety that I have, the not always being smart in school, always grew up broke, limited funds. Those, I didn't think someone like me could do something like this. And I, by the way, didn't go to school to be a Beachbody coach. I didn't go to school on how to post on social media. I didn't go to school on how to know a compensation plan that I didn't understand. I just learned as I went, and it's a do and then learn business. And so I just started thinking about that, and I'm going to leave you on this. It's changed over the course of time, and now all I'm thinking about is calling my mom and paying off all of her debt. So anytime I don't freaking feel like it, I think about that. Who do I need to become to be able to make that phone call one day? I get so, by the way, I've been telling her this for 6 years. When I first started, I said, Eric, this is for us. I'm on this call. I was making $0. I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for us. I'm so excited. This is who I'm talking to. This is what we talked about on the call. I'm doing this for us. I'm doing this for us. Then things started happening. Eric, this is what's happening. This is what's going. This person lost this much weight. This is how much a paycheck was. This person got paid on the team. Like, they made their first paycheck. They made their first post. I just kept going, trucking along. And then now it's like, Mom, one day you're going to be debt free. Mom, one day you're going to be debt free. Mom, one day you're going to be debt free. I called her the other day. I'm like, Mom, we're almost debt free. Next is you. 6 years of just like, she's like, I know it's happening. I know it's happening. I think before she's like, you're really cute. You're really cute. Like, you're so cute. And then now she's like, okay, Mom, it's going to happen. Mom, it's going to happen. And that fuels me. This is bigger than us. Anya signed up to lose weight to fit into her wedding dress, and now gets to be home on her own choice to be home with her son. She signed up to fit into a smaller wedding dress. That is who is waiting for you. If you don't need the financial freedom, which I don't know who wouldn't want more money in their life for more choices, someone out there does. That's how I lead. Hey, incredible job